Okay. All right. Greetings, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us right here on the TR Show with another hot topic. We are here with a special guest, Trev Essence, Unstoppable. Of course, she will be my co-host for this evening, and we are talking about children. We're talking about family. We're talking about things that affects the family and your partner, things that your partner might disagree with, and he might complain or she might complain, or sometimes they keep it all bottled up inside. They don't talk about it, but really and truly there is a problem. So the question I am asking to everybody today before we dive into this subject is, how much kids or how many children are enough in a union? How many kids is acceptable in a union? And the bigger question is, or the more important one is, how many children are you willing to accept going into a new relationship? How many existing kids are you okay with to go in or to start a new relationship? What would be a turn off? What number would be a turn off? All right, you meet me at a party, and of course, I am not a bad looking guy. I might not be the best looking, but I'm not bad looking either. But then you say hi to me, or I say hi to you, and right after that, we start to get to know each other, and shortly you realize that I really have 34 kids. Would it be a turn off? Would you say, I do not want to be a part of this relationship because you have too many kids? Now, for men, I know it's different for men, because a lot of men will get into the relationship only for the sex, even though there are women like that as well. But for a stable relationship, most people will try to drift away from not wanting to be. As a matter of fact, when I was in Jamaica, people used to have this term to say, them no want no ready make family. They don't believe in a ready made family. So if there's a family already, they don't want to be a part of that. So growing up knowing this, some people really do have a problem with that. But when you are in the situation, it's a different story. It's a different story when you are the person in the situation. You didn't plan for your marriage to go downhill. You didn't plan for your life to have mishaps. And so you're now left with 10 children. And so, is it that you should live the rest of your life not having a partner just because you have 10 children? It's unfair. But then again, there is the saying in Jamaica, every who have them tick a bush. I love that part. It doesn't matter how you look, how you stay, what your situation or circumstances are. You have your partner somewhere there waiting just for you. All right, we're going to ask the beautiful lady on panel. Her name is Trev Essence, to introduce herself properly. I know I kinda introduced her, but I am sure that she would love to introduce herself better, just in case I didn't say exactly who she was and what she's about. And perhaps she might be single, and if she introduces herself, she probably will find her partner right here in this stream. I'm not saying anything is possible. All right, Trev, go right ahead.
Negative on that, TR.
All right. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and tell these people who are watching who you are, and what is your story and what you are about.
All right, thank you so much, TR, for having me. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Well, I'm Trent Essence Unstoppable. Those of you who have seen my channel, I have a brand new channel that is just coming up and trying to establish it to, address the issues that affect women. And this topic that you have tonight really speaks to me. So I could not pass up this opportunity to talk about this topic. I'm a nurse by profession, and I'm also a mother of five. I have had I've had several experiences in my life that makes me think that I am capable of handling this discussion as you all would like me to, and how I would like to. So I think TR did the right thing by asking me to come on to talk about this special topic, because if those of you who were on my live last night, I talked about a similar thing where I spoke about how many is too many for a woman to go into a relationship, to start a relationship with. And it's good that today we can talk to TR. He's had an opinion about how many is too many for him. And we would like to know from the male's perspective, how many is too many to go into a relationship? Because as a woman with several children, I know going into the dating world is hard, and you have to make adjustments and you have to modify, because when you go to date after you have children, you're not just dating for yourself, but you have to take your children into consideration as well.
True. Absolutely true. All right, so that was a quick and they would say brief sometimes. Rasta don't really talk about brief, but you know what I mean. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Really and truly though, that was a quick introduction of who Trev Essence is and what her channel is about. She is a family person. She has her kids, and she has her story as well. But we're going to find out from the chat first before I say my piece and what I believe. I'm going to take some questions. As a matter of fact, should I take the questions first, or should I, say what I think first and then take some questions after? Uh, I think somebody said it depends on how many. It depends on how many, and it depends on the situation. Now, it's always crazy when you meet the person first without knowing their story, because you could very well meet somebody that you're attracted to out there in the streets, and when they share their story with you, what are you gonna tell them? Well, me didn't like you still, but me changed my mind. Me nobody like you again. Oh, you didn't like them in the first place. Uh, but really and truly, a situation or someone's situation can be a turn off. I've seen myself before being in the position where I am biased, if you ask me. Yes, I've seen myself being biased before, because the same amount of children that I have, I refuse to take a woman with the same amount. And that is bias on my part, because I have a number of children. But I am okay for somebody to take me with my bangarang, with my load, with my whole multitude of children. But in the same breath, I am telling people that me no want no woman with 10 picnic. Me no want no woman with 9, 8, 7, 6 picnic. Um, how much really is the right amount? I'm going to wait for my some of my Facebook people to start participating, and then we can talk more about the situation. Let me just go into the chat and welcome some people, and then right after that we will jump right into the topic officially. All right, we have Derek C. Williams saying my max is 2, preferably both under 6. That's what he's willing to go into a relationship with. Oldest child I had to deal with was 17, headache. Bless his mama, but not. Lord of mercy, Derek, you're something else. All right. Carter Club is saying, I guess my max was 4, Derek C. Williams 2.0, lol, because I am still here. All right, so Carter Club has 4 children, but she's married and she's living happily ever after, so she's not worried about who will take her up with 4 kids. She is definitely okay with that. I know SF Rose's story and she's not looking again, so SF Rose is definitely okay. Angela is okay with her 2 over there, and she's not looking ever to be married again, so she's okay. So many people are okay, but when you are still young, that's the thing. I have a cousin who is about 7 years younger than I am, and she already delivered, or she already has 5 kids. 5. She is younger than I, and when she was 31, she had already delivered, or push out 5 picnic long time. Now, back in the day when I used to talk to this girl, I said to myself, me no want this a woman here. At 31 years old, you already have picnic. Me not have nothing to do with you because you are so young and you're so vulnerable. And the problem with the 5 kids, if she had 5 kids with the same guy, then I may consider, but she had 5 kids with 5 different guys, and I was never going to go into a relationship with a girl who has 5 children with 5 different guys. I didn't think that I want to do that. So we're talking about it today because there are people in the situation. And as I said, it is okay to be on the side where you get to choose what you want from the relationship. But when you're on the other side, when you are the one with the children and you're still young and you still look good and your body still irie and all of them things there, um, how do you deal with the situation? How do you deal with the situation? All right, I'm going to have Trev with her perspective on the matter. I'm going to share this stream to some of my friends to have them over to hear what they have to say about it, because the funny it is that, believe it or not, there's a lot of people in that current stage right now as we speak, and a lot of them face the same problem. They go to the party and them look hot and them look nice and everything is going well until the man find out, say, or until the woman find out that you have multiple children, and then all hell break loose. So we're gonna ask Trev to take the floor and say whatever she wants to say, and then I will bring some of the people from Facebook over on this side, and let us talk more about it.
All right, thank you, Tia. Yeah, what I want to say about it is I know a lot of people say it depends. It depends on a lot of things. You just said a mouthful when you said it depends on whether the children are for one dad or whether or not, the age. And that was something I touched on as well. The age does matter. I have 2 sons. I wouldn't want, one's 20, one's 26. Now, as a mother, would I be comfortable with my sons coming home with a woman with 5 children, 4 children, three even? Maybe not. I wouldn't be comfortable with my children, with my sons coming home with a woman with that many children, because right there and then you are starting off a relationship with problems. The children may not be a problem, but when you start off a relationship on that footing, it's almost like you have set yourself up for failure. And a relationship shouldn't start with failure in sight. So you start it on a good footing where you say 2 people. My son is 20, for example. Now, if my son comes home to me and he has a woman and he says, Mom, she has 5 children, mark you, she's going to be around his age, 25, around there. Chances are we have to have a conversation. I would have to have a little sit down with him and say, listen, is this what you want? I didn't say nothing is wrong with the woman, or nothing is wrong, anything is wrong with the children. It is just that I'm looking out for the best interest of my child. Now, some people say, oh, Trev, that might be hypocritical because you have 5 children and wouldn't you be going into the dating world? But then again, the age matters. I am in my late 40s. So if I go out and I am trying to date somebody and I have to reveal that I have 5 children, I only have one child, so to speak. I have 4 adults. It's going to take they're going to take a different view on it. It's not that they're going to say, wait, well, you got 5 children. Some people might, but the age matters. At 20 and at 50 almost, it's completely different. The perspectives are different. The expectations are different. The role you're going to play is going to be different. And everything is going to be different about that relationship. But stepping out, my contention is stepping out into the world, brand new, and taking on that level of responsibility, I believe, is a setup. You're setting yourself up for failure. That's my view.
Very, very well said. And one of the most important point that you touched on, and that part grabbed me, is when you start a relationship and there is already failure in the focus. That is a very bad thing. You want to start a relationship where you already believe that this is going to last for a lifetime. And I can promise anybody, when you start a relationship, if you start to see failure at the beginning of the relationship, which is supposed to be the foundation, then you have a big problem. You have a huge problem to deal with. And so this is where a lot of people avoid the thing they call red flags. The red flags sometimes are waving in your face and you pretend like it's not there. And then 2 months later, you are having problems, you're fighting, you're killing each other, and there is problems everywhere. And the worst part, if you were fighting and it was just you and your partner in the relationship, then that would be something else. You probably could live with it. But when you have children, and the children sometimes know that you are fighting and they have to live in this toxic home, then it creates a problem because you're actually raising monsters. These children is going to come up and they're going to practice what they've seen at home, and it will be another family that you've created. And you have to take responsibility for your children. However your children come out, you want to make sure that you have contributed so much to the family that you're happy with the result of your children. If they decide to go south, then that's their problem. That's their decision when they become adults. But you want to make sure that your influence is strong enough to have them do the right thing from in the home. All right, we're going to take some questions, and we're going to have, if there's somebody that wants to join us on panel instead of talking, typing in the chat, if you prefer to join us up here and talk with us, then we will definitely allow you the link so you can join us. But let's take some questions from the chat. What do you think about this topic? Let's dive into the chat and see what's going on. Luckily, my husband kids were from same woman. All right. That baby mama drama is no joke. No, baby mother drama is never a joke. I know what it is. You must build trust with the children. You must talk about the facts of life a bit early in such situation. All right. Men were never around for their children that I helped raised. John Croman. John Croman. Leaving children outrageous. Yes, men or fathers are very important in homes. The children depend on fathers, definitely. The 20-year-old may be immature and can be counted as a child. Yes, I've seen that situation where children are not properly developed and it creates more problems than what you should really have. 20-year, I read that already. 4 are now over 30 and one is like 27. Oh, that's a story that Derek has been sharing. The older children can give the new person you meet a harder time. They are more aware of the surrounding than the younger child. Yes. That's another thing to look at. So Stush Pumpkin, I want to say welcome to the TR show. Thank you so much for coming. I SF Rose disagrees with Trev Essence here. I disagree with Trev Essence Unstoppable about saying that she technically has one since the rest are grown. The grown ones can be more difficult. That is absolutely true. Sometimes grown children can be more difficult because the little ones sometimes will see things and not say things, but the bigger ones, they want to actually make decisions for you sometimes as the parent. Mommy, what you do with that demand there? But mommy, I blind you blind or something. They want to make the decisions, and sometimes it feels like you have to please them. It feels at some point that you have to please them. If you pick me, if your children don't like your partner, it almost makes sense you don't bother with the relationship. Your children needs to like or be at least in tune with your partner. So, when they are young, you're not going to know if they don't like, because the 5-year-old and the 6-year-old is not going to tell you that they don't like the man. Really, they're going to work with mama's choice, because mama's choice is the best choice. She's an adult, she knows what she's doing, she's right, I am wrong, so whatever mom says, that's it. But when Picnic turned 25, I see mama carrying the junk card come home and say, but wait, mommy, I would that on the couch. Me not like him. He smell of smoke. Me not like him in mouth think of rum. You know, all of them kind of something there. So we understand, and SF Rose, I definitely can look at it from your perspective. You do have a point there. But in every situation that I've ever been in, there is always the advantage and the disadvantage. So in every aspect of life, in everything that you will ever do in life, there is always the advantage and the disadvantage. So some may prefer if the child or children were adults, because they would have had more understanding, but that can also be to your disadvantage, where they understand too much and want to tell you what to do. And many times in this situation, the kids dictate the parents' life, because the picnic them start say, you know, they not like him or they not like her, and most of the times you want to please your child. And I'm going to tell you why. When you've spent 18, 19, or 20 years with a child that comes out of your womb, you've bond with the child so much, you've developed a friendship. The picnic, your friend plus your picnic plus your partner plus one whole heap of things. You know, the relationship is strong. It is hard to meet a man for 2 days and, you know, think that you want to choose him over your child. So you want to listen to your child. Your child say, him no looks alright, something alright, yeah. You want to listen to that because you have a relationship with your child. So that definitely is something to take into consideration. But what I will say, and it goes back to where we started by saying Jamaicans say every hoe have them tick a bush. So whether you have mature children or you have infants, there is somebody out there that is willing to take the headache. It's a headache, it's a job. And sometimes it's the way you approach the relationship. If you approach the relationship as almost like a job, because when children are in the relationship, it's as far as I am concerned, it's a job. Raising children is a job, and it's harder than almost any 9 to 5 you can think of. To raise children is a job harder than a 9 to 5 as far as I am concerned. Very hard job. So that was one of my main reason for saying that it is hard to date a woman with so many kids, because you know you're going to work. This is going to be a 24-hour job, and you know sometimes very little time for your partner. My preference, if I was going to date a woman with many children, my preference would be if the children, you know, probably live in a different country. You know, like you meet a woman and them live in England, and the woman live America, or she live in Australia, or them live in China. You know, sometimes that might be a little easier. But if all of them bungle up in the same house, under the same roof, then that's where the problem can be. So, I don't know if I overlooked any questions in the chat. Trev Essence definitely wanted to hear the men's perspective, but it seemed like there's only Derek C. Williams and Expedition Greg in here. Expedition, Derek C. Williams said his part, but what does Expedition Greg? He probably is not even here. We were hoping to get more response from men, because that's what Trev would prefer to hear. What do men think? We kind of already have an understanding of how women think in this regard, so we want to hear the men's perspective. I probably should have scheduled this stream with more time. Oh, there is somebody saying something. The baby mama would always get into a fight with his mom. The baby mama would always get into a fight with his mom. The baby mama. With whose mom? The Gaming Prince, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming. Uh, I hope I didn't miss anybody's comments. I want to say shout out and greetings to those watching from Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us. And for those on YouTube, I want to say special thanks to you for being here with us. All right. We have another. We are live now for 27 for 26 minutes. We're going all the way to 45 minutes. So that leave us with just over 19 minutes or so. So we're still hoping to hear from you in the chat. Let me just drop the link down just in case somebody wants to, join us up here. If you have my number and you prefer to call, then you can call. But if you want to join on here, then here, here is the link if you want to join us. All right. So, anybody else? Any questions? Any thoughts? What do you think of this situation? All right, let me ask you then. What should the woman do if she is the one with the kids and she's struggling to find somebody who would accept her with the kids? Because it's a must. It's a must that you accept the kids in the relationship. So there is no if and but and wondering if you should do this. It is definitely a must. Here is Derek sharing his part, as always supportive, and always has is his 2 cents to add to what is said. So welcome Derek C. Williams to the stream. Thank you for coming.
Okay. Shout out of respect due to them one call. Soldier Fijat Tiana Eric X. How is you, sir?
I am doing very good, my friend. Thank you so much.
Oh wait, me friend, Trev Essence, unstoppable.
Hey Derek, how you doing?
Wagwan.
Not a thing.
All right, really quick, SF Rose, I see you. Shout out to the Royal family. I see all y'all. Salute to me friend SF Rose. Real quick, just less than 3 minutes of your time. Because men and women are going to always be together, you're never going to stop that. Men are going to come to women. And good luck in finding women who are virgins. Good luck in finding a woman without children. So once we understand that, we can better go at dealing with a woman with children. Now, it pretty much comes down to what your tastes are. Like I said, I was in the military at this time. I was like 22, and it was a woman that I was dealing with down there. She had 7. I wasn't really to me because I wasn't going to marry. It was just strictly sex. But now I'm 53 years old. I'll be 54 next month. No, I don't want no woman with no 7 children. I don't. So it really depends on where the man is in his life. But he also needs to make sure that him and the woman that he claims he loves with these children are on the same page. You must have a united front. Because what happens is a lot of times the children will pick up any little thing that y'all have got going on in the negative, and they would use that as a wedge between the two. And before you know it, the woman wonder what happened. And on the other hand, the dude is trying everything he can do to try to keep it together. But no man is going to put up with children that aren't his and they are being disrespectful. He's just not. Well, I think I dropped off. What he will do, he'll try to work with the woman so that we can try to make the situation be smooth and things like that. So you really want to be careful with these things, but it really comes down to where you are as a person. Like I said, I had the chance to practice with other people. By the time I had my child, I only had one. I had her in 2004, so I think I'm a much better parent today. So it's just a cautionary tale. For one, you don't want to have too many children too early and things like that. And if you have, you got to make sure you have all your ducks in a row because you're dealing with human lives. You want to try to make these kids as balanced as possible. And that's pretty much where I am with it. If it's me per essence, she's so gorgeous, I might make an exception. I might, stuff like that. I might make an exception, but my line is just 2. And so that's pretty much all I wanted to say.
Much love, brother. Thanks for your input. Really important. Thank you so much.
Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're chipping out every now and then, but I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, well, it must be the signal. It must be the signal. But anyway, that's pretty much all I want to say. All right. So Trev, Essence, you take care of yourself, and I'm gonna see you around YouTube. All right.
All right. Thanks, Derek.
All right. Salute.
All right. You take care.
All right, Derek.
Yes,
All right,
ma'am.
so
Bye bye.
I was saying something recently, and when I talk to younger people who wants to get into parenting, people who wants to become mothers and fathers, what I say to youngsters and even people who are mature, I say the same thing to them because it is important to take this into consideration. I say the thought of a child or children is different from the reality of children. So you have to I know we all make mistakes, and I know we fall into temptation of just enjoying the moment, enjoying the sex without thinking, because most men during sex they don't think of anything else. There's nothing else in this world, and really and truly, not even just men, even some women too. During sex, you don't think of anything else, and kind of that is really the way to go. So before you go or before you indulge in sexual activity is when you should process your thoughts. Process your thoughts before sexual activity, because when you're caught in the act, you don't really think of other things. Men don't think of anything else because it can be a turn off, and a man can lose his erection if he thinks of yam and dumpling and pumpkin and pop chow while you know what I mean? So he have to focus on the nanny, you know what I mean? So on the other side, the woman is thinking of things like, does he really love me? Baby, if you love me, give it to me. You know, she's thinking of all kind of things while she's operating. And so it is important to think of what you really want out of the relationship, out of the person. Think of being a mother, think of being a father before you enter or indulge into sexual intercourse, because as I said before, the thought of children and the reality of children is two different stories. Yeah. When you see them, you think of how beautiful they are. And you're like, oh, I'm cutie. Oh, this I want to be a mother. Oh my god, I can't wait to be a father. These kids are just so awesome. And that's what you see, and that's what you think of, how nice they are, how cute they are. But as soon as picnic start bala make nice of your head, and you have to get up in at 2 o'clock at night and feed them. Sometimes when you want little privacy and want little alone time with your woman, with your partner, the kids are right there in the middle, and everything get less, and your head start hurting and all of them something there. So the thought of children and the reality of children are two different story. So my advice to anybody, even though it is easier said than done, a lot of people did not plan for the amount of children they have. They really didn't plan for it. And for those who wind up with a certain amount of children, of course, they believed that the relationship was going to last forever. That was the bargain. But sometimes one of the partner sometimes is the one that have a change of heart. He or she wants something different. Everything change, and it affects the entire relationship. It affects the mother, the father, the children, the dogs, cat, and everybody involved in same relationship. All right, is there anybody else in the chat that has something to say? We are winding up. We have 10 minutes before the end of this show. If you have your input, you have something that you want to say, whether you want to come on panel and say it with here, or you want to call and say what you have to say, or you want to just type it in the chat, make sure you do that now because we are running out of time. Thank you for coming in, SRK family. Great to see you. I know you are young, and I don't think you have children yet. I'm not sure which one of you is behind it. I want to think it's the elder sister. But I don't think you have children yet, and I'm sure you're planning to have children. So these are some things that you need to think about. I watched my mother. Okay, I probably not need to read this one. I'll just read it in my mind, or can I read it out loud? All right. I watched my mother bash my father, and I was 13. They split, and it made it very hard for me to accept the new woman because I was easy manipulated. Yes, the women are normally harder to accept in the relationship. When you have children, as a matter of fact, no, I think they're equally the same. It's hard to accept a new man into your home when your father disappear, and vice versa. It's hard to accept the new woman in your home when the mother disappear. Unless the mother was just trash and the father was just trash as well, then you don't really fun of the new person that wants to join the family. So it's a hard road to travel. I'm not sure if Trev wants to say something else before we have anybody else.
Yes, Tiara, thank you. I wanted to say, when I was listening to Derek just now, something struck me about what he said. It's almost like, if I like you, if I might have a change of heart. And that is usually where the problem comes in. Because, oh, my goal is two or three children. But here I've met somebody and she has seven. And oh, I have a change of heart just because it's you. You get what I'm saying? What
Yep.
makes me so special that just because it's me and I have seven, you're going to upend your whole life to accommodate, knowing that you have already assessed the situation and you have already determined that a woman with that many children is going to cause your life to go upside down, and you don't want that. But here you are willing to say, okay, just because it's you, I am going to do it. Do you see failure in that, TR? Or is it just me?
No, actually, I do. And not many of us are as straightforward as myself. I am a very, very, very straightforward person. So much so that if I just want sex with you, I will tell you that's what I want. Literally, I will give you the chance to make your decision if you want to be with me. I will tell you straightforward. Well, to be honest, I'm not really into uh, I could probably be going into a long relationship, but don't look for marriage. I'm not going to settle down for marriage with the situation. So I normally say what I want. But yes, when somebody say they will change their mind for you or they will make you an exception, I don't believe this. This is how I personally think and this is how I see things. But I'm going to make an exception for you. Just because you have a big rear or you have a round, nice shape and you look nice, I'll just make an exception. At this
Mm-mm.
time, I believe it's not you talking.
Exactly.
It's your obsession. It's your fantasy speaking out. This is not you. You're just like, okay. So yes, I agree with you, Trev, that there is a problem when a situation like that arrives. All right, I want to say thanks to Tommy Travels for your donation. I don't even want to be with the girl that has too, too many plans. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, Tommy Travels. Oh my goodness, Tommy Travels, you are something else. Tommy Travels said, I don't even want to be with a girl that has too many plans. That is serious. Then Tommy, I would thank you for the donation. I'd like to hear your opinion though. Like what would be your limit? Because too many plans could be 25 and not so many could be 19. So what is your number? What is the number that you would be willing to tolerate if you were to get into a relationship right now? If the woman had 3 kids, would that be too much? If she had 4, would that be too much? How much is too much, really? I'm waiting. I'm waiting on Tommy Travels. Don't be typing so slow. We don't have a lot of time left here. And that one was a killer though. Tommy Travels always give all these jokes when he arrive in the chat. He don't even want a woman with a lot of plans. That's serious. But
May,
yeah, go right
may I
ahead.
say something to you?
Oh yeah.
Yes, and you know something, one of the worst things a man could ever do to a woman is act as though he's so sorry for her, like he is laying pity on her. Oh, you have your children, so okay, I'm gonna okay. You know that indecisiveness, you can hear it, you can feel it. It's so palpable where they're like, oh, okay, yeah, yes, I want that relationship too. This is what I want too. And as women, we have to be able to recognize these things and be able to say, listen, no, we're not going to start this, because once we start this, we're going to have to be going through it with a lot of problems, and we don't want the problems. And if the problems seem insurmountable at the beginning, how you think they're going to be when you get to the middle? So men need to stop acting like they're sorry for women with their children. Take your little bangarangs and keep it moving. Go find you somebody who don't have children, if that is what you want, and don't come acting like you are sorry for us because we have our children. Because trust me, many of us are unapologetic about having had our children, and we can't bring them back, we can't send them back, and we are not going to be like Susan Smith and kill our children just to be with y'all. So choose what you want and take what you want, because in this world of many options, there's absolutely no reason for a man to feel as though he's sorry for a woman, he's going to date her because he's sorry for her because poor little thing, she has 5 children. No.
Yeah. 100% in agreement with that. I personally don't play the pity party. If it's out of pity, then you just keep going. Nobody move, nobody move over the side there. Tommy's homestead garden is saying one of the worst things a man can also do is do wrong and want to be forgiven, but don't want to hear your pain when something jogs your memory. Tommy, I am afraid of what you're trying to say. Because if you're talking about a woman that got hurt in an instance, but then 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, she keep jogging your memory, going back to that time when you hurt her. That is not healthy for a relationship. If you can't move past your hurt, the only time you should have a problem is if the man keeps doing the same thing over and over. Then that is a problem that you should remind him of daily and constantly. But if the person does something wrong and they say sorry and you have forgiven them, then don't keep bringing it back. Don't keep bringing it back and bringing it back and bringing it back and keep going. Especially if they are sorry. If the person apologized, then you don't have to bring it back. SF Rose saying, I know what she's saying, because me I bring it back. Certain things may bring it back. If you didn't say you were sorry about the situation, then I'm taking it back. I am bringing it right back. You remember the time when you did do that? Yeah. Until you say you're sorry, then I'm going to bring it back. Me not like it. I never like it yesterday. Me not like it today, and I will not like it tomorrow. But if the person is sorry about the situation, or they acknowledge what they've done and they decide to move forward, then you move forward. 97 times you bring it right back, and me say sorry 9,700 times, really. All right. I don't hold things like that for years, cause that is taking me back to that hurt place. Absolutely, I do believe that. I want to say welcome to Max. Max is my friend. He's a male, and he's from Jamaica. He's a musician as well. I'd like to hear his opinion. This wonderful lady on the screen, her name is Trev Essence, and I'm sure she would like to hear your opinion of what you would like or how many kids is too much for you to enter a relationship with. How many children is too much for you to enter a relationship with? And if you're into a relationship, how many is enough? And these are something that everyone has to discuss before. Blue! Everyone has to discuss these things before they get serious in any relationship, because these are the things that can tear the relationship apart. I want to say welcome to Ricky's Gaming. Thank you for coming in, and thank you, Blue Phoenix, for your kind donation as usual. You're always very supportive to the TR show, and I will never forget it. Don't ever believe that any kindness here on the TR show will ever go unnoticed. All right. Is there anybody else with any? Ricky, you're a guy. Yes, I'd like to believe. Your name suggests that you're male. How many children is enough to start a relationship with? I know a lot of people, except those who don't want to get kids, those who don't want to have kids. I know that going into a relationship where there is one or two kids should be okay because you don't want to have them, but you are okay with adopting kids, so that might be fine. But most people would prefer to go into a relationship where there is no children. But if there is children, if there was children in a relationship before you started the relationship, how much are you comfortable with? Blue Phoenix has 5 children. All right, so we have company here. Venus Eats, thank you for coming in. You're at work, but you're listening. Blue Phoenix has 5 children. Now, I don't want to dive into your life too much, but what's your situation now? Are you still with? Are you still married, or are you still in a relationship currently, or are you single? If you're single, what has your experience been? You know, have you had trouble with men having a problem with you because you have 5 children? You know, a guy see you out in the street, he's happy with you, and the moment he realizes that you have 5 children, then his mind is totally changed. He doesn't want anything again. He's okay. Marlon Music Channel, thank you so much for coming. What if someone has 10 kids? The TR show. No, I already gave my answer, Marlon Music Channel, but if you want to hear it again, if a woman has 10 children, then I'm not even thinking about it. I don't care if she's sexy. I don't care if she's the most beautiful woman in the world. If she has 10 children, for me, it's no. No, I am not getting into a relationship with a woman with 10 kids. I am not doing it. Not doing it. Nope, I am not doing it. Answer is no. Tati is in the building. Thank you so much for coming in, Tati. I am happy to see you. And I am saying, this is probably one area in life that I am biased. I am really sad. I am not afraid to say when I am filthy, you know. I am very biased in this area of life because, to be honest, I have multiple children, or I got multiple children, and the same amount of kids that I have, I am, you know, I am not thinking of getting into a relationship with a woman with the same amount. Here's a unicorn. Thank you, Listen Well, for dropping a unicorn in the chat. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Listen Well, you are a guy. And even though you're married, I think you're married if I remember well. Stush Pumpkin said, 1 is my maximum. Stush Pumpkin, are you saying that you want to have 1 yourself and that's your maximum, having 1, pushing out 1? Or are you saying that 1 is your maximum to walk into a relationship with? If you are going to meet a new guy, he can only have 1 kid. All right, Listen Well has been married for 11 years. I'm not sure if he wants to answer this question. He could still, but Listen Well, let's just say you weren't, 1 stepchild. Okay, you're willing to have just 1 stepchild. Yes, I think that's just enough. Easy Fam, thank you so much for coming in. God bless you, and I am happy to see you. Welcome to the chat. Listen Well, just as a male, from your perspective, if you were entering a new relationship, how many children would have been the limit? How many stepchildren are you okay with? Blue Phoenix is saying, I have children from two men. So five of her children is shared between two men. So of course one is not in the picture for sure. But did the second one got out of the picture as well? Did he leave or is he still in the picture?
She has four with her current that she's with for 15 years, and one with, I'm not sure if she's talks to the one.
Okay. Okay, so I may have missed that comment. She has four kids with her current partner
Of 15 years.
of 15 years. So that's going good. Let's pray strongly and hope that nothing changes. Let's pray that he keeps let's pray that you keeps him. Even though some of the times it matters not what the woman do. The woman could give her everything and the man still walk out, you know. It's not always about what you give to the man, but what the man is satisfied with, because some man just hard to satisfy. And vice versa. People overall sometimes just hard to satisfy. You could have take out your heart and give them to live, and them say, well on there. Oh, this a heart is so small. Me want a bigger heart. Some people are just disgusting, and I happen to meet some of them. You take your heart out and give it to them, and them ask you why this a heart is so small if you couldn't give them another one. You can imagine you take your heart out that you are living with, and you give them so they can live, and them say, no man, the heart is too red. Give me one pink one. That's just human, you know. People are just sometimes ungrateful, and you know. Listen well. I have three stepchildren, so I think I would like to say that's your limit. Listen well. So listen well. Was married or is married for 15 years, and he has three step kids. So I want to say he was okay with three. But what if it was four or five? Would you still join that union? Would you still be a part of it? Let me know if you would still do that.
He says he's not sure he would do it again.
I missed that. Thank you, SF Rose, for looking out for me. So listen well. Entered a relationship with three kids, but he don't think he would do it again. You know, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. I know it is. It's a challenge. I went into a relationship back in the day, and it was I've had two separate relationships where there were one child in the union before I started, and I had problem with one. I had problem with one. And I must say, and that's why I said some relationship comes with disadvantage. I remember one relationship earlier that I had two, and both of the kids were adults, and I had no problem. The son was a bit skeptic at first when he saw me with his mother, because I was much younger, and he was kind of skeptic, but he accepted me faster than I thought, because he could reason with me more than he could with his mother, because his father was much older, I was much younger, and so I was not very far from his league or his category. So he could talk to me about lots of little things that he would rather not talk to his mom about, because I was right there in his age category. Like, for instance, a guy at 18 years old will not necessarily want to talk to his mom about having multiple girls, you know, but he will definitely talk to me. Yeah, man, me have an ex-history run up on the corner there, you know what I mean? And he's comfortable to talk with me, knowing that, you know, man can see that as him being a king for having multiple relationship. It is not right, but I'm just saying the reality of the situation. A lot of times, the men will be more accepting of that kind of situation. Did I miss anything in the chat? Let me know. My children are spread out in ages 23, 15, 9, and twins 5. Oh, you have a great thing going on there. And that's a good way to have children, as a matter of fact, even though sometimes it's good to just have them, get them out and just done with it. But spreading them out sometimes is very good when one can help the next. It's good when you have a child, and the first can help the second, and the second can help the third. It's normally a good thing. but you don't want to enter the relationship with that mindset either. You don't want to have your children and hoping that your first child will raise the next, set of kids that you have. But that's a good way to spread them out sometimes. Be Amazing Silva is saying, I enter a relationship with 4 kids. No, sorry. I enter a relationship with 4 prior kids. My husband was fourth. My husband was worth. Oh, sorry. My husband was worth it, and the kids are amazing. They love me, and we have a great bond. We are rolling up in 20 years. Oh, 20 years. May God bless us. May God bless you, my friend. Be Amazing Sylvia. That's amazing. I love hearing these stories because it's rare. It doesn't happen all the time, and I really like it. I like hearing it. I don't like to feel like it sounds like I lower my standards, so I look and access and decide if I can move forward. So I won't make really bold statements and it come off as hypocritical. That's a very good thing to do, SF Rose, because it happens all the time. Guys make bold statements, or people overall makes bold statements, and then them take it back and then them look hypocritical. Yo, would never chat to a woman with 6 picnic. And when the woman pass, you see bumper roll and she irie and she clean, skin clean and hair long and all kind of things, and the woman is just presentable. And the same thing Trev was talking about earlier. Well, babe, really and truly, I know my style, no, but for you, I'll make an exception. Ah, so you're you're lowering your standard now to accommodate somebody like you're sorry for them, like Trev was saying, pity party. Nobody play the pity game, man. Nobody with that. 20 years is amazing. Definitely 12, 25 years is absolutely amazing to have a relationship going on with children that weren't yours to begin with. That is wonderful. You made them yours and you made the family yours, and now you're having a happy life. You're reaping the fruits of your hard labor. Wonderful and well said. Well, we've gone far over the time. We are almost into 1 hour of streaming. We are actually 2 minutes away from streaming for 1 hour. We are going to take 2 more questions. Is there any more questions you would like to ask before we end today's stream? Or is there something that you would like to say before we have Trev saying her final piece on the topic? Is there anybody in the chat that has something burning that you want to say, or you have a question that you want to ask? Let us know. I'm not going to be the one to tell you if you're right or you're wrong. We are reasoning together as a family, and we're listening to your opinion. And if it sounds good and it can fit into our lives, we're going to take it. Of course. It's not like we are up here and we are separated from you, so anything we say that go and that kind of something. We are reasoning together as a family. If you say something, I may like it and I can apply it to my life, of course. And the same thing for Trev. I can speak to her even. I can speak for her, even though I met her just recently. If you say something and it makes sense, and it look like it can be applied to her life and her situation, then of course she will definitely take your advice and your story and your situation to help build hers. Why is having multiple children an issue? It's not an issue. It is not. Blue Phoenix, let me just get that out of the way instantly. Having multiple children, it's not an issue. But we're talking about the issue of when you have them and somebody look at you and be like, huh? What are you doing with so many children? We're talking about, because the question was asked recently, and as a matter of fact, this stemmed from an earlier stream that I had this week when Sheldon was in the stream, and somebody asked the question, and I immediately said, I am not going to date a woman with 5 children. And I had some exception to that, but I did not say my exception in the stream, especially because I was no longer looking for a relationship. So I did not say my exceptions, but I did have exceptions, and I didn't say them. So that's where everything is stemming from. There are people currently in the situation five, six, seven, 8 kids, and they don't have a current man or husband, and when somebody can make a bold statement like that, you wonder what other people think. Because I would want to know what other people think. Someone just make a bold statement like that. Me? No, sir, me not. No, you want to hear if this is just one person, and then you can say, "Oh, so everything all right then," or you want to know if this is it's a worldwide thing. Is it a state thing? Is it a culture thing? What kind of thing is it when a man decided that this is them? You want to say something, Trev? It looked like you want to say something.
Oh, I'm listening. Continue.
Yeah, so sometimes it's a culture thing. Sometimes it's a personal thing, and sometimes it's a situation where the person have had bad experience with children, and that was one of the cases for me when a mother always wanted to be on the side of her child, and I could not prevent it. I could not prevent her from wanting to protect and to be there for her son. But the thing that was happening in the relationship is that sometimes when I say things, I would tell the child, all right, here what? You're going to do the dishes before you leave, and you're not leaving until you do the dishes. The next thing I see is the child walking through the gate. And the mother gave the permission. I'm like, no. And I have to call the mother and said, here what? We are going to be a team, and come to agreements. If I say one thing, not because it's your son and I never my sperm bring him, you're gonna just go against what I say. You can't just do that. If you're going to make a decision against mine, please confront me. Tell me. Let us make the decision together, because the moment a child realizes that the parents is not making decisions together, they will ride on the end where they can get away with things, and they will manipulate the relationship and do things out of the way. I have been taking care of myself since I was 16. I don't need a man to validate my life or even help me. I do what is right for my babies always. That's a profound statement. That's a profound statement. I have been taking care of myself since I was 16. I don't need a man to validate my life or even help me. I do what is right for my babies always. Well, I can't say anything against that. You have to do what is right for your babies. It is compulsory for you to do what is right for your babies. Thank you, Marlon Music Channel. Thank you so much for that donation. But yes, I agree. I want to look at it again because that was really strong.
Can I say one thing?
Yes, you can say many things.
So, a lot of people saying the minimum or a maximum.
Mm-hmm.
I answered, I don't have a minimum or a maximum because, and I was actually telling, stush
Pumpkin.
So, someone could come with 10 kids, and 10 kids could feel like a few, and sometimes a few can feel like 10.
Mm-hmm.
So, very hard for someone to just come out and say, oh no, I could never do 10, when 10 might be very easy if you have, 10 that really accept the situation, are mature. It really depends on what you're working with.
Guys, can you hear SF Rose? If you can hear SF Rose in the chat room, let me know. I don't want to be here staring on the screen and you think it's just silence. So if you can hear her, let me know. All right, so SF Rose was basically saying, I think you wrote it in the chat earlier.
I did, but I've been going back and forth with some of the people, so I was just trying to make a really big point to say that sometimes people will say, oh, I would never do that. But you don't know that until you get into a situation and you assess it to say, you know what? I might make an exception to my rule because these 10 kids are awesome. What if they're 10 that came out at the same time? And I know that's really not ideal, but these 10 could be awesome, but you can walk into one with 2, and these 2 are terror, where the 10 feels so light.
Yeah.
So I personally can't in those kind of situations set limits to say, I'll never do that, because then you look somewhat like a hypocrite when you wind up doing it.
You sure you don't want to come over here and talk so everybody can hear you properly? They say they're hearing you faint.
I don't want to come on the camera though. I'll just talk into the microphone though. Or can I come on? Can I come on the panel with my avatar?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, I'll just do that. Got me going.
All right, so we're gonna have um SF Rose join us so she can say her bit. Here's the link again for if you want to join to say what you have to say. I want to say greetings to Kanaika. Thank you for coming in. I don't remember saying hi to you, and you are precious to the royal family. I love to see you here. So thank you so much for coming, Kanaika. Great to see you. All right. SF Rose is setting up to get on here. I think I might have to mute my side of the stream when she gets on, since we're actually in the same room. She should really come on from here, because the mic is going to pick you up from there as well.
No, I'll just avatar from there then. That's fine. I just don't want to.
All right, guys. So I'm going to just step away for a minute, and SF Rose is going to,
Adding me on?
where are you going to do? We're going to do it.
Oh, I don't want to be on the camera though. That's okay. I'll just speak right over here. I'm sure they can hear me better. Oh. I'll just sit here. You don't have to step away. No, so actually I want to make a couple of points. I'm going to actually, as much as I love Derek C. Williams, I'm not certain if he's even in the chat, and if he's not, hopefully he'll watch the replay. So I have oh wait, he's still around, I think. Yep. I love Derek C. Williams. I'm not certain. Oh, he's back there. Bring him up. So I personally don't agree with
back
Derek C.
again?
Williams when he said, if Trev Essence had 7 children, he'd maybe consider it because
Let me
she's
come
so
back.
beautiful. That feels
Let me
like a
come back.
level of hypocrisy for me personally, because if Trev has 5 or Trev has 7, it shouldn't really matter if he wants to be with Trev.
Hello,
So,
can you hear me?
and I'm sure TR, I'm not sure if you saw in the stream about attachments, what I wrote about
My mic.
attachments. Be Amazing Sylvia is probably going to talk about attachments.
Can y'all hear me?
Everything
I
comes
don't hear
with
nothing.
something when you get involved
I
in a
know. I don't
relationship.
hear anything. Hold on. Can y'all hear me? Okay, I don't hear nothing.
I can hear you.
Okay,
I can hear you.
good. Okay, I had my Bluetooth attached. I thought
Uh-huh.
I unattached it, but I didn't. So sorry. Um, I just wanted to come up to say, with kids and going into a relationship, and I have 24, 24 years of being in a relationship with kids that were not, I didn't birth them, but my husband, well, my boyfriend at the time, said, okay, these are the kids, this is what we're going to do. He always included me in it. He always asked my opinion. And if the kids didn't like something I said, he said too damn bad. That's just the way he was. He was like, you have to learn how to live with her and her rules. This is our house. So when
Yep.
you lay down the ground or the law and you let these kids know, you don't have any issues. 4 kids, and they all love me. Two of them call me mom, 2 of them do not, because mom got issues. So, but that's good. And everybody run into issues. But at the end of the day, my husband was worth it. He was definitely worth it. At the beginning, it was rocky, but we about to roll on 20 years. Like I said, May 19th, it'll be 20 years we've been married. So it's just It's something you have to be willing to put up with. And if the kids are good to you, it's easy. But if it's not, it's like hell in a handbasket. So the kids have to be acceptable of you and love you in order for it to work. So, but that's it. So we got our nice blended family and we got our kid together. So, yeah. So we're going to visit our kids
All right.
sorry.
That was great. I heard you loud and clear, and that's amazing. When you can find yourself in those situations, you've found yourself in a pot of gold. That was beautiful, and thanks for sharing your story. Don't leave it, Derek. I think what might want to say something that involves you,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, real quick. I just was actually going to add on to what Be Amazing Sylvia was saying. How you doing, Sylvia? Yeah, I had a situation early on where a young lady actually had her child run our relationship, and that lasted all of 5 months. And I just took it as an insult that you would have a 5-year-old child actually telling 26 and 27-year-old people how they are supposed to be in a relationship. This woman actually had her child in our relationship, and I just took that as a problem because that's a child. The child is underneath me. Now that's not mean I'm trying to run the child or disrespect you as a mother or anything like that. But come on. And so that crashes and burns. A lot of times women will they the children run the relationship. I'll put it like that. And that was always a problem. That's something I couldn't deal with that. So like what Sylvia's saying, if everyone has a united front and we're all on the same page, it's a beautiful thing. But the minute the children get involved, and the child has more sway in the relationship than the man, or if it's a woman, that's a problem. And it happened to me. And like, no, I'm not taking that. I'm not gonna take disrespect from an adult. I'm sure as hell not gonna take none from a child. And so that's pretty much all I wanted to say. That's all.
Okay, well, that was well said, and we understand, and I think most of us are in agreement with what you've said. So, thanks again for your input.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Like I said, I'm gonna drop back down.
Okay, Derek.
All right.
All right, thanks, Derek.
All right.
Be amazing, Sylvia. We're not hearing you. No, we're not hearing you. Nah. All right. Take care. Be amazing, Sylvia. All right. So, yes, Trev, it seems like you want to say something.
Okay. The issue of how the children are going to be raised, that's going to be a totally different conversation because the one today we really wanted to address whether or not an individual is willing to even jump that broom into a relationship with multiple children, where we had said before that that's a ready-made, not to say it in a way to be insulting, but a ready-made family where children are already there and you are not setting the pace for how the relationship moves forward as two people planning how they're going to live and how they're going to move forward with the relationship, but rather entering a relationship that already has potential issues set in place already, being that there's already children in the relationship of different age groups, of different developmental stages, and you just coming in and having to deal with that can be quite challenging. So that in of itself is going to be a totally different conversation, you know. But for today, all I have to say about, in closing, all I have to say about this conversation is that as mothers, when we have our children, we are responsible. And a lot of times the men run off and we are left with the children. We face the dilemma that exists in the dating world because we have to find different ways to bridge the gap between raising our children on one end and finding love on the other, while the fathers are on their own doing their own thing. So when we make decisions in that regard, we have to make the decisions with our children in mind. We can't do what we used to do before we had children. We're not in that dating pool, in that area of the dating pool anymore. We have crossed over. Our children are important. Our children are going to be with us. They are ours. And we must make the decisions that are best for them. We can't just drag any old somebody into their lives and then expect them to suddenly just change and accommodate this person. No, that's not how it is. And I think somebody, Blue Phoenix, said something interesting in the chat, because she says she has always done for her children, and that is what us as mothers do. We're always there for our children more times than not, even when the fathers are off. And it's not about how many children somebody has. I am a mother of five. I've never one day felt like, I am inferior because I have five children. Some people want you to feel like you are inferior because you have several children. But no, I've never felt that way. And I appreciate when she said, I've always done for my kids, because that's what we do as mothers. We do for our kids. And ciao, goodbye to anybody who finds that to be an offense to them, because you're going to be there for your children. But mothers must make choices that are reasonable when you have children and you're going out to date.
Absolutely, 100% in agreement with that. As mothers, you have to make that decision, because when you're left back home with the kids and the man is out there, he does what he wants to do. He gets all the glory of being with whomever he wants, while the woman is at home and she's stuck and she's being refused and all of that, and all kinds of things. So yes, you're definitely right. Blue Phoenix is saying, I am the way I am because of how my parents did me. They left me blind and hungry in a kinship foster home, and that's not going to happen to my children ever. Yes, sometimes when we have been through struggles and situations, we make sure that that doesn't affect our children, because we know how it feels, and that is a good way to approach your situation. I've done many of that as well. The mistake that my parents made when I was growing up, I decided that I would not have some of these same things happening to my children. So I make sure I create a path and pave the way to not have these things happen to my kids. So well said. And with that said, I think we have arrived at the end of today's program. I want to say thanks to everybody who donated. And as I normally say, a lot of people used to believe that I am more into those who donate monetarily, but I am saying, if you spent 5 minutes in this chat room, that is valuable to me than anything else. Your time to me means everything. So even if you came here and you never donated, I look at you almost the same way I look at the person who donated all the time. I have to say that I will give a special shout out to those who donated money, because it's their hard-earned cash, and for you to take your cash and donate it to TR Show, I want to extend my sincerest gratitude for your kindness. But at the same time, I really do have I really am thankful for those who spent time hanging with the TR Show today and the wonderful people from the royal family. I want to also say special thanks to the beautiful lady on my left, Trev Essence Unstoppable. Please go check her out. She's a content creator and she has her thing going on her page as well. I want to believe that she might be in the culinary business. Did you bake that cake?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you see that?
Yes, I did, yeah.
So I went to her page and I saw some bakings. Only a pity I cannot have much sweets, because doctor already told me that I am very sweet. I'm a very sweet guy, so I can't really partake in a lot of sweets. But they are looking quite delicious and scrumptious. So guys, go and check out Blue Essence. Not Blue
Blue
Essence.
Essence.
Not Blue Essence. Trev Essence. Talking to Blue caused me to be calling you Blue as well. Trev Essence. She's on the screen right now. Go check her out. She's amazing and she is unstoppable. Thank you so much for joining us as well today, Trev. And I look forward to sharing more of these panels with you. Thank you again.
Anytime, Tiara. I appreciate it so much.
All right. And with that said, guys, we have come to the end of the stream. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I will be with you tomorrow at 2. Tomorrow is Thursday. No, I'm not going to be live tomorrow, but I will be with you on Friday at 2 p.m. Thank you so much for coming. Until then, I am yours truly, TR. Rex.